Pinaki Swami is ready. And I will shorten my summary at the end, so you will all have your time.
Okay. Thank you.
You're ready, Pinaki Swami? It's your turn.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon to everyone, respected chair, co-chair, and my dear participants. I am Pinaki Swami, a graduate from Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat, India. So today I'm going to speak about integrated farming system for food security and nutritional security in hilly regions. First, let me present a brief scenario of Indian agriculture in front of you all. India supports 18% of the total world human population, whereas it has 2.5% of global land area. So now we can clearly see that it supports much more population than the area it has. The net sown area in India is 142 million hectares, whereas the irrigated area is 62 million hectares. Despite these limiting factors, India has achieved laurels in agriculture. It is the third largest food producer after China and USA. It is the first in milk production, second in fruit and vegetable production after China and USA, and second in rice and third in wheat production. Now let me present a current status of Indian agriculture in front of you all. In India, we are having fragmented land holdings and lack of capital investment. As the father divides his property among his sons, the land holdings are getting smaller in area generation after generation. And there is a lack of capital investment. Then the farmers are having seasonal income and employment because farmers are mainly concerned to grow the main crop of that area instead of growing crops in different seasons. They are focusing on monocrop. Then there comes the risk of crop failures. So because of any disease or any kind of environmental problem, if the crop gets destroyed, then the farmer is left with no other option, and he cannot get out of that economic crisis. It is related to the next point, which is single commodity farming. Despite India has scope for a huge amount of different kinds of crops like horticultural crops, ornamental crops, as well as different kinds of food crops, but farmers are mainly focused on growing the staple food, that is rice and wheat. In the northeastern region of India, farmers are focused to grow rice, whereas in the north and the western regions, they are more focused to grow wheat. Because of this monoculture, there is only single commodity farming in India. Horizontal expansion is very limited because of this small and fragmented land holdings. So the scope for vertical expansion is there. The farmer, if he is growing a banana in his field, he can set up an industry in order to manufacture the banana chips, but he has very little scope in order to increase his land to grow more banana. So horizontal expansion has very little scope. Then from the advent of green revolution in India, the farmers, they have started unmitigated use of pesticides, then herbicides, as well as fertilizers, because of which the land resources, the soil resources, as well as the water resources, they are getting deteriorated day by day. And this all is done with a very little scientific knowledge, because of which the land resources, these are very deteriorated in today's era, we can say. Then these are the major challenges in Indian agriculture. So we need to produce more food, about 350 million tons by 2050. And now we are left with very less land and water, with very small land holdings. Per head, we only have 1.32 hectares of land. We are left with very shrinking agricultural land resources, as well as less external inputs and pesticides. And because of the global climate change, we need to adapt to the changing climate as well. For this cause, integrated farming system can be a solution. Let us see how. So in the year 2000, we had only 100 crores of population, whereas the cultivable land was 143.8 million hectares, and the food need was 210 million tons. By the year 2030, we will be having 137 crores of population, with the cultivable land decreasing to 141.3 million hectares, whereas the food need would be increasing to 287 million tons. For this cause, integrated farming system can provide us a situation, and let us see how it will provide a solution in the subsequent slides. First, let us see what is the meaning of integrated farming system. It is the appropriate combination of farm enterprises like crops, livestock, fishery, poultry, and the means available to the farmer to raise them for profitability. It interacts adequately with environment without dislocating ecological and socio-economic balance on one side and attempting to meet the national goal on the other side. How IFS seems to be an answer. Firstly, it provides a food security. If a farmer is having both livestock as well as crop in his field, then food security will be there. Even after infestation of disease in his crops, he will be able to survive with the hope of the presence of livestock. As well as it will also provide nutritional security. He will be able to get a more balanced diet than simply growing one kind of crop in his land. If he integrates different components in his farm, like livestock, aquaculture, bee culture, then also horticultural crops, also food crops, then he will get a more proper nutrition from his whole land. Also, it will provide financial support to the farmer. How? Because integrating all these components will render him a round the year employment, which otherwise growing only one crop would not be able to give him. Because if he is having livestock in one end of his farm, then the cow or any other animal, firstly, it would be providing milk, and then if he has animal husbandry, then these chickens, and they will provide the egg. Similarly, they can also provide meat. So there is around the year financial security for the farmer. And most importantly, it will also provide environmental security, because the waste generated from the farm, it can be used to feed the cattle. The waste generated from the cattle, it can be used as manure in case of crops. So most importantly, as today we are facing the environmental crisis, so this integrated farming system provides environmental security. It provides sustainable use of land, water, and other bioresources. This is an example of integrated farming system, where there is a farmer family. They invest their labor and capital firstly to grow the crops, then they invest their labor and capital also to manage the livestock, and in return from crops they will be getting the food and cash. Again, in return they will be getting food and cash from the livestock as well. Then crops, they can be used to feed the livestock. They will be getting fodder out of the crops, and in return the livestock, it would provide manure for better growing of the crops, as well as if there are bullocks in the livestock, they will also provide the power. Then there are different components of integrated farming system, like field crops, vegetables, fruit cultivation can be there, poultry farming, livestock integration, duckery, aquaculture, agroforestry, beekeeping, mushroom cultivation, biogas plants. There can be many components in the integrated farming system. Again, there are linkages in IFS. The crops provide us fodder, feed, employment, also income. It is a major source of income. Then animal, poultry, goat, they all provide us dung, urine, pest control. They help in pest control, droppings. Employment is a very important factor which is involved in all of these industries. Then there are different kinds of integrated farming systems. These are named basically on the components which are involved in them. Like in crop livestock farming system, the farmer can integrate livestock as well as crops. Then in crop livestock fishery farming system, he can also add the component of fishes. Again, we have livestock poultry fishery farming system, crop poultry fishery mushroom farming system. He can also integrate the mushroom farming. Likewise, we have different types of integrated farming system according to the climate of that particular area. Then most importantly, we are having numerous advantages of integrated farming system. First of all is it will provide a regular income and year-round employment. So as I mentioned earlier also, by the use of integrated farming system, the farmer can be economically stable. He firstly will get year-round employment as well as regular income. Then it also provides food and nutritional security. The farmer, he will be able to consume a more balanced diet with an integration of different vitamins, minerals, proteins, and he will be able to get a good and balanced diet. Eco-recycling of agriculture residues, byproducts, and waste. So as I told, the waste from one land, it can be used as the input for the other. This is the main advantage in integrated farming system. The loss is very less and the waste production is very less. Better soil quality for sustainable agriculture. We are not using the hazardous chemicals for our farming systems, which will improve the soil quality for further agriculture in the future. Then minimization in pollution hazards, very less production of waste would be there. Improves the microclimate of that area because integration of animals would be there. Then with animals, we'll be keeping different crops. So it would provide a better stable environment of that particular area. Conservation of natural resources. We do not need to take up different kinds of inputs from the other sources. Rather, we can conserve the natural resources at the particular place we are having this integrated farming system. It also minimizes the risk of failure in productivity. If the crop is affected, then we will be able to get income from animal husbandry, from livestock, from other mushroom cultivation. So we do not just need to depend upon one kind of component. So this we practiced in one hilly region. In 1 hectare of land, we did the integrated farming system.
Thank you, Pinaki. Your time is almost up. Can you just get to the conclusion?
Yeah, I can. So this system we adopted in 1 hectare of land. We assigned different area to the different components. And these were the components of our integrated farming system. You can just have a glance. These are the photographs of the system. This is the major economics and profitability of the IFS which we carried out. We gave a total input of 2,95,769 rupees. And the total output which we got from that system is 4,62,192 rupees. And the benefit cost ratio, it was 1.6. This system could provide employment to for this man for 641 days. So this was the net economics of the IFS, which we conducted in our farm. This is most importantly the key message of the integrated farming systems, that it is a holistic approach to ensure the food and nutritional security, farm income, enhanced environmental and soil quality, and social status of small and marginal farmers, particularly in hilly regions. Location-specific farming components are required to be intelligently identified to harness complementarities between enterprises and bioresource flow within the system. So when we are focusing to develop one integrated farming system, it should be location-specific. We should decide the type of integrated farming system according to the location in which we are going to install it. Again, it should have a knowledge of the market structure of that particular area, the farmers, the condition, the economic condition of the farmers is also to be taken care of. And the key point is that not only one integrated farming system can be applied to all the areas, rather we need to design different kind of integrated systems according to the need of the people of that area and according to the status of the farmers of that particular area. So with this, I will be concluding my presentation. I hope you liked it. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Pinakaswamy.